For a brief moment in time, there was a DIY legend, nay, a king, known as Tabasko Sweet. He was doing everything himself on a channel called Super Deluxe, but it didn't last very long. The bubble burst really quickly on our boy Tabasko Sweet, so today I gotta talk about this extremely sad situation. But before I do, hey, hi, hello, my name is Dan Frampton, and you might be asking yourself, why are you talking about this Tabasko Sweet guy on your music channel? And there are a couple reasons, and they'll start to make sense as we go through this a little bit. You know that this channel is built on the love of DIY, doing it yourself, the ethos of just being able to go out there and with the power of your own hands, being able to make something happen. And Tabasko Sweet embodied absolutely all of that for a time being to an audience of millions, okay? This guy was rubbing shoulders with the bad babies of the world. You know, the Catch Me Outside girl? This guy was out there making content with Churdleys and Oliver Tree. This guy could have been an internet figure of the utmost prominence to this day. But there's a good chance that you guys don't even know who Tabasko Sweet even is. You wouldn't know the expression Fuego family if it came up and slapped you upside the head. But before we talk about DIY legend Tabasko Sweet and the saddest fall off of all time that I don't think is his fault whatsoever, we gotta talk about my new comic book. Yes, I just dropped the first official episode, the first official chapter of Pit Pros. Now, I've been talking about this non-stop for the last month and a bit, ever since I dropped chapter 0, but now the adventure has begun. Now we are kicking off into overdrive, and you can get started now for free, $0.00 in the link in the description. It took me about a month and some change to put together chapter 1, so it really would mean a lot to me if you went over and just perused the pages real quickly. Okay, now let's talk about the master of flexing from a distance, ultimate DIYer, Tabasko Sweet. So when talking about Tabasko Sweet, basically he didn't run his own channel. He was basically a character on the Super Deluxe channel. But this character was incredible. He had so many catchphrases, and the audience was absolutely captivated by everything this guy did. He did basically arts and crafts videos, DIY style videos, where he took streetwear, classically really expensive items, and turned them into DIY items that you could make at home. But make sure you flex it from a distance, family. And his objective was always to make his DIYs very clean. And more often than not, they were.
Thrills.
So just to get an idea of this guy's presence, this guy's charisma, this guy's character on screen, here's just his intro.
What's up, family? It's your boy Nate, aka Tabasko Sweet, and you're watching Cheap Thrills. You already know what it is. Why are you looking at me like that, my guy?
So there it is, you know? I don't think he had much to do with the production element of what went on in these videos, but the one that really blew him up, and the one that got him at least on my radar over here, is when he did the Gucci flip-flops. Now, the Gucci flip-flops are, you know, they're not really the craziest looking article of clothing in the world, okay? Pretty easy to DIY, and I'm pretty sure that a couple people took this advice unironically and went out there and made these Gucci flip-flops. But the meme of it was just great, and the whole Gucci flip-flops thing at the time was a great meme wave to ride. And then at the time, his Instagram was just popping off. Everybody was all about these DIYs and flexing them from afar, you know, showing them their fits. He was an absolute goat in this whatever niche he was creating, because hype beast culture was so popular at the time, and all these like Supreme articles of clothing, all this Nike and Gucci and all that sort of stuff is so unattainable for most people. So to have a DIY legend out here being like, I'll show you how to make it very clean, Fuego family, just collab after collab. And then the craziest stunt that he ever pulled was turning this truck over here into a drivable Gucci slide. The whole process of DIYing it here is still up in this video. You can go see them make this thing into a Gucci slide and drive it around in the most dangerous way possible with no blind spot. Totally boosted, family. Very clean. So memed it was that the Gucci flip-flop girl herself, catch me outside, Danielle Bregoli, bad baby, she pulled herself up to the Gucci slide. It is wild to me that this stuff here right now that I'm going through is a walk down memory lane and just filling me with nostalgia. And it was only 335 weeks ago. But you might be asking, that's great. Millions of views, really popular channel, collabing with lots of famous people. How is he not the most famous guy on the internet right now, still doing all these DIYs? Hypebeast culture is still out there. Streetwear culture is still out there. Clout chasers and money-hungry Instagram people wanting to be seen with the right clothes, it's still very prevalent out there on the internet. So why isn't a guy like this on top of all that and riding that wave to the bank absolutely every single day? This sort of format could be absolutely adopted into shorts and be like TikTok crazy, be Instagram Reels crazy. This really could absolutely be still the best content on the internet. But unfortunately, there's an RIP section to this video because the channel that all of this was on was bought out. Super Deluxe was yoinked and then turned into this thing over here called Tatered, which was an absolute shell of its former self. Super Deluxe was putting money into producing these shows. Tabasco Sweet's show, called Cheap Thrills, was not the only show that they produced. It was some very surreal, obscure, avant-garde kind of stoner comedy stuff, and Tabasco Sweet sat atop the lot. But when they were bought out, I don't think Tatered was gonna foot the bill for all these shows that Super Deluxe once did. So, no more high production value DIY episodes were ever gonna come our way. So Nate, Tabasco Sweet, spun it off into his own version a little bit on a second channel, but it didn't do nearly as good. But me personally, I loved the more YouTube-y, laid-back, gritty guerrilla version that he produced, which is really hard for me to find right now. Actually, it was really easy for me to find right now. I got it right away. Here it is.
Sponsor me, Home Depot.
Everyday flexes.
Everyday flexes. The lighting not as good, the production not as good, absolute downgrade in every way. But in my opinion, if this grind and if this hustle was kept up, the charm of this more YouTube-y approach would have caught on a whole lot than the high gloss production value of what Super Deluxe was putting out before they got bought out.
Show you how to get some Fueguissimo fit.
So there it was. Our DIY legend was just left out there in the rain. No longer was his Instagram just full of flexes, just full of being the coolest, awesomest, most badass influencer guy in the world. No, this guy was not out there making jokes anymore. This guy was not out there being a character anymore, even though he was so much better at it than absolutely everybody else doing it. More charisma, more talent, more camera presence. And eventually over time, his Instagram began to look more like this. Just a chill guy, chilling out. Which is cool, which is great. You know? But back in the day, I seem to have remembered that he was like a drummer or a musician of some kind, leading us all to the relevance why it's on here on this channel right now. Not only is he a DIYer of the utmost importance in the history of DIY, okay? This guy actually is a DIY rock musician. This guy has a band. The band that he was in back then, I can't remember, and I only vaguely remember him playing drums. It's very cloudy. I'm pretty sure it was the drums that he was playing in his former band. But now, he's got a new project, okay? So coming from the 7.1 million views of the Gucci flip-flops thing to the most banging profile over here on Instagram with 100,000 plus followers, and now he's promoting his rock band that has 136 followers. Now, I know I have some viewers out there in LA. There's a good chunk of my audience out there in LA. So guys, I'm telling you right now, you have to go out and see their new band because they're playing their first show in 3 days. February 7th, you can go see Dark Fantasy and our DIY legend Tabasco Sweet playing with them. It feels criminal to be here so early, and apparently the genre of music that they play is abyss gaze. You can see it right there, abyss gaze. There are so many different kinds of gaze bands out there right now. There's shoegaze, black gaze, grunge gaze I've heard the other day. And with all of these gays out here, I think it is the appropriate time to introduce my video audience to the Siemens Demon. Now, I grew up on a little tiny island, and on that little island, there was a soda company called Siemens. It got bought out by Pepsi, which is very thematic to the episode that I'm currently shooting right now. But anyway, that soda company, Siemens, now is a pretty big meme during my live streams. Anytime something comes up, we gotta raise a glass to the Siemens Demon. They had very interesting flavors like Lime Ricky and Birch Beer, which I've never seen ever since. So raise your Siemens to Birch Beer and all the different gaze. Shoegaze, black gaze, abyss gaze. Hell yeah, the Siemens Demon approves of all the gays. So this is the call to action to everybody in my audience in Los Angeles. Go out and see this band February 7th at Make Out Music. Dark Fantasy _LA is the Instagram. Get your tickets below. I'm promoting them right now. DIY legend Tabasko Sweet is out there again playing music with his Abyss Gaze band. Siemens up! As sad as it is to see a fall off this drastic, I am so happy to see him out there being creative in a band, which is something I'd personally prefer more in my soul and definitely fits more with this channel. But just personally, if I was ever in a situation where I was getting millions and millions of views and I seemingly had it all, and then the next day I had seemingly nothing, I would feel probably not the greatest, if I'm being honest with you. But I don't know if this guy wants all the fame and fortune that comes along with being a really popular internet celebrity type guy. To me, it seems like he's happy chilling and being in a band. So in my opinion, you can look at this situation in two different ways. Yeah, the fall off is kind of sad and I would feel bad in that situation, but being able to live your most authentic life, doing what you want to do, chilling out, playing music and being with your friends, that is actually more important to the human experience than clout and fame. So maybe he feels like he escaped all that, and now being able to chill, being able to do what he wants with the people that he loves is actually so much more rewarding and fulfilling than clout, money, Instagram profiles, and having to put on that fake persona every single day. Even though that fake persona is so funny and so captivating and so entertaining to watch. It is just so crazy to me to see somebody with so much talent. It's just absolutely effortless to them. To just be like, I'm not even interested in it, by the way. I want to do something completely different. It's like, all right, cool. But you have a lot of talent for this other thing. And you could be like the best that ever did it if you just do this thing. But no, my heart's not in it. I want to just be chilling and playing music with my band, hanging out with my friends. Then, man, all the best to you. It reminds me recently, there was an announcer for the WWE, Samantha Irvin, who in my opinion was the best to have ever done it. Hit the bricks, Fink. Lillian Garcia, not in my ring. And then Samantha was just like, nah, not feeling it, guys. I'm just gonna go chill. And that's sick. It's like, yeah, but you're very talented and could be the best of all time. But you're not gonna do that. That's very interesting to me. But I don't know, dude. I just want more content like this. So until my next upload, read Pit Pros and watch another upload. Okay, take care, see you later, and have a good one.